I went to India to develop a new generation of activewear, one that merges traditional craftsmanship with modern technology. Along the way, I witnessed the devastating impact of synthetic materials and toxic dyes on the environment and the people behind their production. The activewear you're wearing is most likely made from synthetic fibers, products of petrochemical processes. Even if it's not, the dyes used to color it almost certainly are. These dyes pollute and poison rivers and groundwaters in hidden corners of the world. Behind this mass production lie exploited workers, real human beings pushed to the brink of modern slavery, all for cheap, disposable clothing. We set out on a mission to change this. By replacing synthetic fibers with modern, renewable and natural alternatives, we're transforming activewear into something new. We're also going back to traditional dyeing methods, using nature's own ingredients to eliminate toxic waste, recycle water, and enrich the land and lives of farmers, eliminating big corps from our supply chain. This isn't just innovation, it's a return to craftsmanship and tradition, merged with the possibilities of modern technology. Activewear that honor both people, culture, and the planet. This is Naturally Active by Movement Made. After a long trip from Sri Lanka, where we visited the rubber plantation and factory behind our natural resistance bands, the journey goes to Tirupur, India, where we meet up with our host and business partner, Rajan.
I'm Rajan. So what I do is we do natural dyeing for textiles. My company is called Natural Dye House. So primarily our work is to change the process of dyeing, which is currently a very polluting process. So you want to change it back to a more traditional system where natural colors were used for dyeing textiles across the globe. And that's what we do. What we mean by natural dye is we use various forms of natural raw material. So it could be a leaf, it could be a flower, it could be the bark of a tree. We're using a lot of food waste, so like onion peels, or we can use even pomegranate rind. So these kind of wastes we use to take color and dye the textile. So the process is a completely natural process, so it has zero impact on the environment.
So we just arrived what will be our home for the next few days, somewhere outside Coimbatore. So we've been traveling the whole day from Sri Lanka, and our host Raja has been kind enough to offer us this room inside of his home. We start the day with a hearty Indian breakfast and head off to our first location, the dyeing unit, where we will be dyeing our clothes.
They're all dyeing units, chemical dyeing units, very large ones, producing tons of fabric a day.
On our way there, we drive past literal wastelands of chemical trash thrown away and buried by the dyeing industry in the area. The way dyeing is performed today, the water used has to be evaporated because it's too toxic to be reused. The toxic sludge that is left after evaporation is supposed to be stored, sort of like nuclear waste. But in practice, this doesn't happen.
Before 150, 160 years, the whole world only used natural dyes. But with the advent of chemical colors, even my father and my grandfather, they all moved to synthetic colors because it was easy, it was cheaper. So that time we didn't realize the dangers of synthetic colors. So it was something that was of a convenience. When I was young, I could see the groundwater change color in my house, and we can see people are falling sick. So that's when we knew that something is wrong. This whole system is an issue.
We continue to Rajan's factory. This is where we will be dyeing our clothes. At the time of visiting, the place was still under development. Industrializing natural dyeing is not seen in the industry and require both innovation and development of new methods and techniques. The goal here is to make natural dyeing a viable option compared to its synthetic counterpart. To use some of the same machinery to make natural dyeing more efficient, but to eliminate the toxic waste and need for evaporating the water. You see, natural dyes is made from plants, from trees, roots and fruits. The byproduct is non-toxic. The water can be reused, and the raw material used provide additional revenue to the farmers and local businesses rather than the big corporations.
Chemical dyeing uses a lot of water. Natural dyeing uses also a similar amount of water, but with chemical dyeing, the water is completely killed. Whereas with natural dyeing, the water usage we can always recycle for reuse, or we can do irrigation where we can give to a farmer and they can grow crop, or we can also use for growing natural dye yielding plants. So the farmer can benefit, also the dyeing industry can benefit, which is a very rare thing. Today, the Indian farmer, many of their lands are fallow. So if they have 10 acres, maybe 5 acres, they have enough water where they're not growing anything. Or they will grow one crop based on the rain. So here we have some arid crops. They don't need much water. So they can grow in this land which farmers are having fallow. They're not really using it. And that will give them additional income. Indigo is another example where it can be used as a crop rotation. So crop rotation is where you continuously always growing the same crop. So you need to rotate it with something else so the soil regenerates. Today, we are able to harvest indigo anywhere from 45 days within 60 days. So it's a quick crop rotation which has ability to fix a lot of nitrogen into the soil. So the farmer can go with less fertilizer the next time.
Our dark grey color, for example, actually comes from a waste product, pomegranate rinds. The rinds are collected from juice factories and used to color our clothes a deep and natural grey color, as close to black as you can naturally get. Hungry after a long and impressionable day, we head out for a late lunch before a long ride to Rajan's place. So today has been a super busy day, and we have about 30 minutes now where we have time for a workout before we go to dinner with our hosts. Yep, so we can make it, right? We can try, yeah. So that was exactly half an hour. Yes. Pretty efficient though.
Very good.
Yeah, good job.
Good job to you as well.
So 30 minutes can be enough.
When you have to.
Yeah, when you have to. We're definitely blasted. We do of course want to smell presentably for dinner, so we take the opportunity to test Rajan's wife's natural soap made from soap nuts.
Yeah.
Next. The next few days we spend visiting plantations and the forest college and learn about the ongoing research they are doing for cultivation of natural dyes.
My personal learning was that these chemicals are a problem.
Because people don't bother about that. They look at only the price.
So that's why I took it as an effort to find an alternate, and I strongly believe the traditional process of natural dyeing is a viable alternate. Because for thousands of years it was already done across the globe. We just have to learn how it was traditionally done. We have all the raw material sources available here in India, so we don't have to do much. We have to do a little bit of R&D to change the process. So my family's history with textile gives me that advantage. We found solutions how we can dye various forms of textile, where we can dye cotton, we can dye yarn, we can dye fabric, we can dye the garment. We found ways using natural dyes to dye it in bulk itself. So we use the existing machines. We don't need new machines except for maybe 1 or 2 processes. We can use natural dyes to dye in the existing machines. We currently have very good solutions to dye various forms of textile, and all of them give different look to the end product.
This is an extra special treat.
Rajan also takes us to the place where he will be setting up his new factory in a few months. This place has its own clean well, and the water here will be recycled. To achieve this, there are some government permits and bureaucracies to overcome, but this is going to be game-changing. Before we get to see the first prototypes of our actual clothes, it's time for a small movement excursion. We go to Chennai to learn about the traditional Indian art of Malakam. We chose to dedicate an entire video for this, which you can check out when it's live. For the coming days, we work closely with the tailors at the factory where we will be doing the stitching of our clothes, feedback, testing and prototyping. So we visit the mill making our textile. This visit was still very early in the process with our first prototypes, but we had people help us document the process after we left India as well. It would take yet another year for all our developments and efforts to bear fruits. I never imagined there would be so many details to make a piece of clothing. So many choices to make. We didn't exactly choose the easy route, and to achieve our goal, we had to start from the very beginning. We have chosen to use fibers extracted from wood pulp, sourced from sustainably managed forests, to give our textiles the breathability and softness we wanted, without using plastics and petrochemical fibers, to be biodegradable. The fibers have been spun into our very own yarns and knitted into textiles with the exact properties we wanted. To make our finished clothes durable and long-lasting, the stitching matters. Instead of using standard polyester threads, we are using tencel lyocell, a strong, sustainable and modern form of viscose, 100% biodegradable. We've been working closely with the tailors and the sewers at the factory to enforce seams and ensure stretchy performance. Even our prints are made from natural inks. The grey print on our logo t-shirt is made from castor oil ash and is inspired by a traditional recipe once used by Indians to make mascara. Our performance tanks and t-shirts feature low-profile embroidery, which will go tone-in-tone with the natural color of the piece. Our collection, Naturally Active, by Movement Made, is finally finished. After almost 2 years of planning, testing, development and prototyping, is finally here. Our India trip and the Movement Made journey is now also coming to an end. For now. If you haven't checked out the entire Movement Made journey yet, you can check out the entire series in this playlist right here, where me and my brother Brage travel the world to show you how our stuff is made, to train together and to explore. A huge thanks to Rajan and his wife for their hospitality and for feeding us with amazing food every single day. Our India trip has been enriching in so many ways.
Ja, ja,